In terms of your work,
Yes.
you moved from your high school and working here to not only doing work with other companies, but you started a company or were part of a company that you started for yourself.
I did.
You did
I
some
did.
directing. You've taught down in L.A. So let's talk a little bit about what's the transition from
my
Mr.
goodness.
Freeman has been.
Oh my goodness.
When did you move towards directing?
I've always directed a bit. I mean, I'm sort of always, written a bit and directed and performed a bit. And sometimes I've tried to. I mean, right in the current play, in the American play, I'm just an actor. I'm just really an actor in that. It's not. I mean, Susan Laurie Parks is a wonderful writer, but I can't claim any credit for.
Do you know Laurie?
I do know her.
Okay,
yeah, I've
Susan.
actually become friends with her.
Wow.
She's great. She's amazing. She's quite. She's a force. I'm amazed at how prolific she is and the incredible richness of her voice and her work, and she's just a unique talent and a lovely person as well.
I don't know her, but I'm sure she probably feels the same way about you.
She's very sweet. She calls me. She heard actually that I met her. This play happened in 1994. It was the West Coast premiere of the play. I think it followed just a few months after the New York premiere of the show, and she wasn't able to come out for it, but she heard about it, and she heard really good things about the production, and especially about my performance in it, which was nice. And then a couple of years later, I was in New York at a party, and I was introduced to her, and she said, and she recognized my name, and she said, "You're Brazil." And ever since then, she calls me Brazil, the name of the character.
Yes.
In the
So
piece, which is disconcerting when I'm not,
Not
I
the
don't think,
character.
I'm not the character.
But just so our listeners know
Yes.
that this is Thick Productions, did the production,
Thick Description.
Thick Description,
Right.
did the production of the America play 14 years ago, 15 years ago?
14
years ago,
right.
and you were in
and
it.
And that was at Theater Artaud,
Artaud.
and it was myself, Idris Cooper, Ronnie Washington, I think Louis Sims, and June Lamina, June is now down in Los Angeles.
And so now they are doing a reprise of the
And
show.
right, and this
you're
is
doing the same role.
And I'm doing the same role. When they
Okay.
first called me, I thought, there's actually, can I hold up the
Yes.
card here? Maybe, I don't know if there's a little image of me in the part 14 years ago. There's a bit, if you go to the Thick Description website, I think it's thickhouse.org, you can see it a little bit better there. Sorry, what
you were talking about when they called you to do the piece.
when they called me to do the piece the second time, I assumed they wanted me to play the father, just being, a little bit older. But they said, no, Ronnie's wants to come back and do the father again. I said, well, then, if it's not too weird, I'd love to do play the son again. So. I mean, the play, it's not naturalistic. I don't actually. The play is set in a kind of time space place. It's neither here nor there. It's set in the Great Hole of History is what it's called, and the set is like sort of looks like a 19th century. What's the term? Daguerreotype. It has a sepia tone to it. So I play the grown son of the foundling father, who is an Abraham Lincoln impersonator. It's an all-black cast, so you have an African-American Abraham Lincoln impersonator who works at an amusement park where people come in and put a penny.
Not tell the whole story.
No, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but that's they put a penny in a thing and then pay for the privilege of pretending that they can assassinate
history.
Lincoln. So sort of reenacting history, or reenacting the John Wilkes Booth moment.
So you were in it the first time.
So I was in it the first time.
How does it feel, and how have the audience reactions been, or has it been for you doing it the second time?
It's actually been. I mean, I don't really remember so much doing the show the first time, but sort of my muscles kind of remember it in a way. So sometimes when I'm when in rehearsals, when I was revisiting some of the monologues, I would kind of, oh yeah, this kind of thing would come back. I'd say for myself and Ronnie, I think we're able to give more nuanced performances this time, just from being familiar with it and kind of knowing what worked and didn't work the first time. We're able to go back and maybe bring some more to it.
I can say that I did go see the show in previews, and it's a wonderful show. It's a very a beautiful show in terms of the set and the performances. I can also say that Brian's performance is well worth going to see. We were speaking a little bit earlier. Brian is noted here for another group that he helped found a few years ago.
Noted or notorious, whichever.
Noted. Promo Afro-Homo.
Yes.
Which was here from like the early 90s to
early
the mid-90s.
90s to mid-90s, yes.
When you hear that term, Pomo Afro-Homos, what goes through your mind?
Trouble. The Pomo Afro-Homos, postmodern African-American, and people usually figure the last part out, began as a trio of black gay men who felt like we weren't, seen, feeling invisible, really, within the larger gay community as well as within the African-American community, and wanted to sort of make a show to challenge that and speak to some of the issues and realities that we were confronting. So we put it together at Josie's Cabaret and Juice Joint in 1990, and the show took off. It was a hit, and then we made another show, and then we had some television projects, all kinds of stuff. So
and you traveled around the country?
We traveled around the world.
Around the world.
Yeah. We were all over California from about the second performance on, we started getting offers from other cities. The show hadn't even officially opened in San Francisco when we were invited to a festival in Glasgow, Scotland.
Wow.
So,
well, that shows how much the world was hungry for something such as that.
We had many runs in New York, Florida, Texas, London. I think we went to 3 times. We were on the BBC. We're on. I think one of the most fun things was doing those the call things for Greater London Radio. They said, when we're in London, we're the Pomo Afro-Homos, and we listen to Greater London Radio.
Oh, wow,
so
that's great.
That kind of stuff.
Brian, believe it or not.
Are we out of time?
But we have only about a minute and a half.
Okay.
Now, since you left all the Afro-Pomo Homos, Afro-Homos.
Oh, it's all right.
You've directed?
I've directed.
Down in L.A.
Yes, I've taught at UCLA, Cal Arts.
Dramaturge.
I am a dramaturg. I work a lot with people developing new plays and performance works. Just worked with the wonderful artist Robert Karimi. Worked with Reggie Kabiko. Did a great piece with Mark Moody Joseph that's traveling around the breaks.
So what's next?
That's always the
$1 million question.
Yes.
As an independent artist.
As an independent artist, yes. Okay. There's always there's projects coming down the road.
But something always.
Hopefully, I can come back on the show and talk about them.
Well, I certainly hope so, because having you here has been a real treat.
Oh, thanks.
And we certainly hope that this won't be your last time, and that you'll come back often. So thank you very much, Brian, for being on Afrosolo Live. And I also would like to thank you, our audience members, for being there, watching us, giving us feedback. If you have any feedback from me in particular, feel free to contact me at my email, which is thomas@afrosolo.org. Tune in again on the 3rd Friday of the month for our next version of Afrosolo TV. Have a good evening.